Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Eddie Signor, and I want to push something, guys. Let's do this. Let's get all the power of all of us tonight and demand that Bill Burr and Gina Carano star in Star Wars' new Rangers of the New Republic. I just put that together, took a still, and put the logo on there because look how awesome that looks. Look, the reason I want to pitch this is because look, I don't know how true this is. I wouldn't put it past Disney, to be honest. But rumor is all these stars have been under fire due to social media. Let's call them the social media mobsters out there trying to cancel people for things they've said online. Now, in all these cases, I'm going to break down not only those two, but Rosario Dawson also has had controversy in the past. And I want to break all this down of why I feel like these two especially need our support because what's happening to them is insane. But look, first, before I even get there, Bill Burr, I hope you guys have watched it. I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm just going to talk about his performance. I mean, I still love it. Everybody's got their lines. They don't cross until things get messy. I mean, what a line. I don't know what planet, as everyone said online, what planet he's from, planet of Bostonian. But he was fantastic in this episode. I thought it was the first time I think the best character arc I've seen so far of like a supporting character on this show that really gave you nuance and like just struggle and opened up the Star Wars world in a way that I just didn't expect and I've been waiting for. But man, that moment at the end, you know what scene I'm talking about. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. But that moment at the end, just the look in his face without having to say anything. It was just an amazing scene that just, Bill Burr, man, bravo. You got to remember, Bill Burr's been around. He did Breaking Bad. He was fantastic in The King of Staten Island. That I did not like that Pete Davidson movie. I didn't like Pete Davidson. I wish that movie had just been the Bill Burr movie following the father of, he's the new dad in a relationship where the mom has Pete Davidson as a son. That would have been like 10 times a better movie. Instead, it was about Pete Davidson. Bill Burr, though, was fantastic in it. So Bill Burr has acted well before. We shouldn't be surprised. But it's surprising to see him in a Star Wars show because he's ragged on Star Wars in the past. Those who know Bill Burr as a comedian and follow him, he's made fun of it. He never really apparently watched it until he was an older adult. And then when he did, he just saw it as sort of a weird soap opera with Muppets. He didn't really get the appeal. He's like, why do people care so much about this? And that's apparently how he got the gig. He met it through a mutual friend. He met Favreau through a mutual friend who then was like, hey, you'd be good in the show. And he's like, well, I kind of knocked on Star Wars. I don't know if that would be good for you or I. And Favreau insisted, no, I think that's what makes it fun because your fans wouldn't expect you to now be in this huge, big world. And I think of all the characters, it just shows Favreau's brilliance of like casting the non-traditional people. And it works. The reason Bill Burr works is because he is a little bit of an outlier. He says it like it is. And that's, as we're realizing, that's the character in this universe. There are people like Bill Burr in the universe as well. And that's why I wanted to start here because that's the point, guys. In America, without getting political, in America right now, we're very divided. Regardless of who won our political election in America, half of the world voted for one person, the other half voted for another person. Granted, there was a difference, say that as you will, but it's clear a lot of people voted for both people, proving that we don't always agree. We don't always agree, and that's the beauty of Star Wars right now, that I think it's finally working with The Mandalorian because they're not letting politics get in the way. Now, look, if someone's on social media actually hating and saying something horrific, yes, you need to take accountability for that, and Disney is going to take accountability for that. And they have with James Gunn, and they've done some things. But even with James Gunn, they've come around and realized, okay, we maybe messed up in this one. They did mess up, but they even realized, okay, maybe we should have reacted a little quicker, slower. And they didn't just they clearly didn't like reacting to the mob in the case of James Gunn, so they brought him back. He made amends. He proved his entire cast stood up behind with him. He managed to pull that through that PR nonsense like a man. That is the epitome of. He said some stupid things back in the day, but he admitted it. He was a different person, and it proved we can't be judged by our tweets from 7 years ago. So they're all different cases is what also proves. Everybody's case of what the social media mob comes after you for is always what they want, what their intent is. And so with Bill Burr, look, he's said some things. He's made jokes. He's a comedian. That's what comedians do. But people just assume they know him. They'll call him a racist. They don't even know he has his wife is not white. There's so many things you just don't know about a person unless you actually do your homework, and no one does that on Twitter. But anyway, what's just funny is he's now also before I get to her, he's also now under fire. They've hired a new phobe on The Mandalorian. Not to throw a wrench in people enjoying something Bill Burr did for once in his life, but just he's a public phobe, has been for years. This is not true. This is not true. He's not hateful. He has admitted sometimes he's been ignorant. And I think that's a lot of America, guys. He has never, ever been, he's never done it out of hate. And he did a lot of these jokes a while ago as sort of the shift has changed. You can't just deem and say someone's against it, an entire culture, just because they're not as educated or not aware of what's happening. That's the problem in our country right now. You say something back in the, remember everybody who watched Ace Ventura? Hey guys, remember everybody, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective? Yeah, the ending of that movie doesn't play in 2020 anymore. But guess what? I laughed at it. Whether that was right or wrong, and you want to judge me because I laughed at it when I was 14 and I watched the ending of Ace Ventura, it proves the point of times change. We grow, we learn, we have to educate instead of terminate. And that's what this community does. You say something once wrong ages ago or because you weren't educated, and they go, bah, 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 get out of here. You're out. You're not an ally. It's sickening. It's sickening. And so they're after him. So Bill Burr is already on the chopping block. That's why I made this video. And thank Yellow Flash. If you guys aren't following him on YouTube, he's good. Yellow Flash guy. I got this one from there as well. And I wanted to give him props. In fact, if you don't actually follow his channel, I want to make sure I Yellow Flash too. Give props where it's due. There you go. Go show him some love, because I borrowed a couple of these links from him because I couldn't find them, even though I knew all this was going down. So thank you. But as I was saying, another one from Salon. This one makes me sick. How they're just digging up this controversy that Rosario Dawson had forever ago, where she was accused of getting doing something aggressive against an employee of hers, holding down somebody and punching them or whatever it was. Anyway, the reality, as they're making the claim here, they go and they do say that, according to Vanity Fair, 18 of the 20 claims have been withdrawn voluntarily without a settlement. The remaining claims concern the actual altercation are still going. They fail to mention that that's not with Rosario. It's with her mother. So Rosario has been cleared and not accused of anything. And it doesn't matter, though. Doubts about Dawson's true feelings and the actions still linger in the fandom when it comes to financial dynamics between a wealthy celebrity and this person employee, how court cases historically fail these types of people. The power imbalances shouldn't be ignored. So it's like, you're never innocent in these cases, I guess, is what the reality is. God forbid the person in that community lie, because, women never lie, and, but people don't lie. Is what we've learned, is what's happening. But in this case, she's been proven the things have been withdrawn, and they weren't even paid. So, that tells you something. So she's been under fire as well, but she's getting her own show. And then it comes down to my favorite, Gina Carano. Now, Gina Carano, I've made videos on her. I support her tremendously. I've followed her closely. Gina Carano has never said anything toxic or hateful. She has made political statements, usually vague ones, but she's made some offhanded, sarcastic, or types of comments. Nothing that has crossed the line. Nothing. There was a pronoun debate that she got in, and I'll put the video actually up here. Go check that out if you want to get the details of her case, because that video got limited and demonetized and didn't get shared by YouTube because of the topic. So maybe this one will too. In fact, maybe I need to put up my warning. Hold on. Hey, YouTube, here it is. Human reviewer. Nothing I've said's been against the community guidelines, so be fair. Don't ding me. You do it all the time, and I haven't said or done anything that would go against it. But anyway, Gina has been through a lot of this, and she made a thing about people were demanding that she change, or she put in her header bio on social media her pronouns. She's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Good, if you want to do that, great. And they came at her hard. Thousands of tweets just hammering at her. She doesn't support it. How dare she's not put it. After they did to Pedro Pascal and he caved and did it, Gina wasn't going to do it too. And so therefore she's phobic. She doesn't support us. And it was no. And then she's like, well, fine, call me bleep, blop, bloop. And then people got even more upset. And whatever your feelings on her is, it's like, Leave her alone. She has different viewpoints. She's never been against that community. She's never said something anti that community. Never. She has remarked on the insistence of why are you insisting every celebrity have their pronouns in their bio? That's not something you can make people do, but that's what people want to make her do. It's insanity. So anyway, but now there's this talk that I don't know the validity of this, but I've seen this in a few other headlines, and I'm just making this video to sort of, we should all be rallying support, because now apparently there was rumors that she wasn't going to get the show, that it was canceled. Same person who sourced this, Daniel Rickman, who anytime it's via, we got this covered, I always get worried. Daniel Rickman, I've been told, is good. I don't know. I've seen some stuff. It's just, he does a lot, and it's not always correct. Sometimes he is. But anyway, he first reported that it was canceled. Now apparently Disney's saying you must apologize. And we'll do it. I don't know if this is true or not. Either way, this is ridiculous because she's done nothing. She's done nothing that warrants firing. And the last thing I want to bring up, which a lot of people have been covering this story as well, but just to show you the hypocrisy of it all. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chuck Wendig, who is an author, Star Wars comic book author and writer of books and stuff for Star Wars, Marvel. So he got fired. He got fired by Marvel for saying something inappropriate, and he's liberal, and so he's just so jealous and bitter. She's lucky she wasn't mean and vulgar to conservatives online, or boy, howdy, she'd be out of a job. Am I right? Sideways glance. After IGN reported that The Mandalorian seems to be setting up a new Republic spinoff starring Cara Dune, which it better be. Thankfully, so many other people were very quick to point out, no, Chuck, you weren't. You said this. you told the GOP that they should all murder themselves. And you thought that was cool. That's apparently, that's mean and vulgar. Yeah, that's so he can say this. But liberals will say Gina can't say her own opinions. That's how hypocritical this nonsense is. It's mind-boggling how that look. And I've been there. Those who will follow me, like I was Hollywood liberal for all my life. I've now become more independent in the middle because there's things on both sides that I appreciate, and it's frustrating me seeing how much the left, how hypocritical they are. They're so full of crap. They want it their way, only their way. They can never budge. And to be fair, extreme right can be that way as well, obviously. But it's so frustrating to see them attempt to, cancel people, but then do the same thing they accuse the people they cancel of. It happens all the time. So anyway, that's why I want to stand by this show. Rangers of the New Republic. Bill Burr just proved himself to be such an immense character in the series. I want to see more. He doesn't even need to be right away, but as an Imperial spy sharpshooter, what a perfect comedic foil to Cara Dune, is a little bit more stoic, serious. I would love to see her open up though in her own series. She's been wonderful in Mandalorian. Last night's episode was great too. But politics should not keep these two from being in a series. It's insane. It's insanity to me. Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Kathleen Kennedy, all of you guys, don't let the social media mobsters and that group of people try to stop this. It's not fair. These two are great. Acting is acting. Their political beliefs, I don't care about them. I don't want to know about them. Look, honestly, they should just get off Twitter. Bill Burr avoids it, but he makes jokes, so he's stuck no matter what he does. But look, just if it's that problematic for you, just why not just get off Twitter? But the reality is they're allowed to say their beliefs, right? As long as they're not hating, as long as they're not hateful and saying things that actually are against somebody specifically and hating on them, as if they have a different political belief than me, who cares? It is what it is. It will turn off half their audience. It is what it is. But she has a right to do that. As long as she does it respectfully, civilly, she can say it as whatever she wants. Of course, freedom of speech and freedom of expression. But she works for Disney, guys, and no matter what you want to say, if she wants to keep working for Disney, she's just got to make sure she double checks that tweet every time she sends it. I hope she does, because I want to see more of her, and I don't want Disney to have. I don't want her to give Disney an excuse to say, well, that one did cross the line. You get what I'm saying? So let's be careful, but at the same time, let's back these two up, because so far she's done nothing that's crossed the line. I hope she continues to stay that way. Same with Bill Burr. These two are awesome. I want to see more of them together. I'm excited for the show. If they aren't in the show, I'm not interested. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down below. Hit that subscribe button on the top left, or check out these videos too. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, here on Popcorn Planet.